There we go. Right, so you're going to need your resistance bands today. And as I said in the email, what I'm going to do today is all going to be sat down stuff. We're going to use the resistance bands. It's going to be mainly leg exercises, and they aren't going to be the hardest exercises that we ever do. And I know the recent sessions have been quite challenging, so I'm just trying to mix it up a little bit so that you're not constantly being challenged. You're still sort of like maintaining yourself, if that makes sense. But because it's fairly early on a Friday morning, I'm just going to spend just a little bit longer doing the warm-up as well, just to make sure that you're nice and loose. So without further ado, let me get over here. Right, oh, I'm sorry, another thing. I've not got my little headphone things there, so I will do my best to make myself heard, but you know, I'm sat over there and the microphone's there, so if there's any issues with the volume, wave frantically and I'll speak even louder. All right. Right, so are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin. So I want you to try and just find your sit bones with both feet flat on the floor. I want you to put both hands on your knees, sit up nice and tall. We're going to do some hip circles. So what I want you to do, first of all, is I just want you to start leaning backwards and forwards, but take the weight of your upper body on your hands, so the weight, so the effort isn't being done by your lower backs. I don't want any strain on your lower backs. I want you to warm up. So we're sitting up nice and tall, and we're leaning forwards and backwards, taking the weight and pushing ourselves up. So we're starting to loosen up our spines, loosen up our lower backs. And if you can go a little bit further each time, then please do. We're just gradually increasing that range of movement. And you might start to feel, you think, oh, blimey, yes, I am a little bit stiff in my lower back. And it does actually feel quite nice just to sort of ease out that stiffness. So just take your time. Just be conscious of how you're feeling through that back. Remember, we're not slouching, we're not rounding our backs doing this. We're trying to keep our backs long and trying to move from our hips, not moving from our waist, trying to move from the hip area. Okay, so relax there. We're going to just take that a little bit further. We're going to do some circles now. So we're going to come forwards and rolling back. So again, try and keep both sit bones flat on your chair as you're rolling around. Just take it nice and steady. And again, you'll start to feel through the hips and through your lower back. You'll start to feel that particular area start to loosen. You might have a few tight spots. So you might just want to slow down through those tight spots so you get a really good stretch. Use your hands to help you with that rotation. So pushing through it. So again, the effort is being done through the hands, through your arms, just allowing that movement to come through the hips. We're going to go back in the other direction. So those circles in another direction. But it might feel a little bit different. So again, just enjoy, if it does feel nice, enjoy that sensation of just holding a position as you roll around. Still just make sure that you're keeping both parts of your bum flat on your chair. You're not lifting a sit bone as you come round in an effort to increase that movement. Fabulous. Okay, so relax there, just coming back to the centre. So hands on knees, sitting up nice and tall. We'll lift our arms up level with our own shoulders and then lower back down. And again, lift it up and lower back down. So we're going to gradually increase that range of movement by going a little bit further and a little bit further. So just in your own time now, just gradually increasing that range of movement. You might find you're going quite high as you stretch out through the shoulders, nice and steady. Marvellous. One more for me, stretch it up. And coming back down and relax there. Give those shoulders a bit of shake. Hands down by your side. We're going to go in the opposite direction this time. So we're going to go 90 degrees. Level with your own shoulders and back down. Level with your own shoulders, back down. Just one more for me, keeping those arms level with your own shoulders and back down. So now we'll start to increase that range of movement, going a little bit further. Just nice and slow. Your shoulders might still be a little bit achy from our last session. So just nice and steady, going a little bit further each time. If you're able to get your hands above your head, brilliant, but don't worry too much if you can't. Okay, just one more for me. Super. And then just relax there, give those shoulders a bit of shake. So we're going to combine those two movements with a twist and our torso. So hands down by your side. So what we're going to do, we're going to stretch up as high as you can. We're going to turn our torso. We're going to lower our arms down, maintaining that twist. We're going to stretch back up. Come back to the front. Turn the other way. Lower those arms, so you're at a 45-degree angle with your arms. Back up. Back to the middle and lower. Okay, so we'll do that little sequence just one more time. So stretching up, a quarter turn in one direction and lower, and raise, back to the center, turn the other direction and lower, and raise, back to the center and back down, and relax there. Just give those shoulders a bit of a shake. Speaking of shakes, give your hands a shake. Hands up and down to nice loose wrists, and twisting, and fingers in and out. So we're going to do that stretch that we've done for our wrists. We're going to start off with our prayers. So we're putting our hands palm to palm, and fingertip to fingertip. So this is the one where we keep our hands in contact with each other as we press down in front of us, and then release. So slide the hands down in front of the body, the elbows will come out to the side, you'll feel a stretch through the back of the wrist, the inside part of the wrist, that's where you're feeling the stretch there. As you press down, your elbows come out to the side, and then you slide back up to release that stretch. Slide down, elbows come out, you keep those palms pressed together, and then release. And again, one more time, press down, and release. Just give those fingers a bit of a shake. The opposite, and I know it's a little bit trickier this one, where we place the backs of our hands against each other. Try and line up your wrists. And I know it's tricky, but try and line up the backs of your finger to this corresponding fingers on the other side. So this is the one where we keep the backs of the wrists in contact with each other. We slide up and then release. Slide up, keeping the backs of the hands in contact with each other, and then bring it back down. And this time you're feeling the stretch through this part of your wrist and the back of your hand. So slide it up and back down. So just in your own time, getting a nice stretch through the wrists. Okay, just one more for me, please. And relax there, just give your hands a little bit of a shake. So we're now going to twist our wrists. So this is a little bit fiddly. I'm going to put my hand there so you've got the white background behind me. So the little finger should be pointing towards me. Your thumb should be towards you. Okay, with me so far? Your other hand comes round the front, grabs hold of your thumb, and then rotates that thumb, so you're bringing your thumb towards me, and your little finger should be close to your face. So you're going to twist through the wrist. You can just release that, and then come again. So rotating again. Just release that pressure, and again, just one more time, that rotation. So the thumb is towards me, your little finger is towards you. And and then release. We're going to do the other side. So again, your thumb is firstly pointing towards me, and the little finger, sorry, let's start again. Your thumb is pointing towards you, your little finger is pointing towards me, the camera. Your other hand comes round the front, grabs hold of your thumb, and now you're bringing your thumb pointing towards the camera. Your little finger is close to your face. Just release that twist and then go again with that twist. And release one more time. And relax there. Just give those hands a little bit of shake. Very nice. Right, so let's do a little bit of arching. Let's get that circulation going. Nice and easy as always. We're looking at a walking pace to start off with at least. So nice bending those elbows, being a little bit purposeful with the arms. So you get sort of that movement through the shoulders, your elbows should be going behind you. Obviously, be careful you don't bang your elbows on any chairs or any other furniture that's in your vicinity. Okay, straight to the legs and step out. So alternating those legs forwards and backwards. And if you can manage opposite arm and leg, I know it's early, let's get those brain cells working as well. Marvellous. Let's reach with the toes, so we're dabbing the toes down. Get a bit of a stretch through the top of the foot, through the front of the ankle. Let's go to heels, so extending the heels out to the front now, dabbing the heels down. And let's go back to toes, so dabbing your toes down. Back to normal marching. This time we're going to stretch up. So climbing our ladders, our feet are still going up and down, our arms are going up and down. But this time now our arms are going out to the front. So reaching out towards the cameras. Nice big stretch through those shoulders, through the arms and elbows. And reaching up. And reaching forwards. Back to normal marching. Lovely job. Let's do some toe taps side to side, get your feet going. And then you can bring your arms into it. Got everything going now, arms and legs. We got our rhythm. Look like you've all got rhythm. Fabulous. So let's reach up, both arms. Legs still going out to the side. Pushing those hands away. Reaching up. Pushing away. Reaching up. And pushing away. Let's do some funky chickens. Keeping those feet dabbing out to the side, nice and light on your toes. Back to curls. Lovely job. Back to marching on the spot. So we're just going to slow the march down, but we're going to lift our knee up higher. And again, just try if you can to do that opposite arm and leg. Really think about lifting up that knee as high as you can. Really start to feel that through the top of the hip now, the front part of your hip. Now back to normal marching. And then just your heels up and down, just nice and loose, nice and relaxed heels. Nice and slow now. And relax there. Lovely. Right, okay, so hopefully that's got your circulation going. You feel a little bit warm. We're going to sit up nice and tall. One arm on top of the other. Nice straight backs. Twisted from one side to the other. It's nice and smooth as always. No jerky movements. And as I said earlier, just try and pay attention. If you are feeling a bit stiff or a bit achy or something's niggling you today, Just take that into account. You don't need to go hell for leather. And relax there. Just give those shoulders a bit of a shake. Hands to the front. We're going to push all the way out, all the way back. We should stretch out your back as you push away. You're stretching out your chest and shoulders as you pull back. And we're looking for that big range of movement. Fabulous. Okay, and relax there. Just give those shoulders a little bit of a shake. Let's do a little bit with our legs. So a foot, don't mind which. We're going to swing that foot forwards and backwards. And now just a foot up and down, flexing that ankle. And side to side. And a circle in one direction. And circle in the other direction. And relax there. Your other leg for me, please. Again, swinging forwards and backwards. And now the ankle up and down. Keeping these joints, these important joints, nice and loose. And side to side like a windscreen wiper. Remember, you're just trying to move your foot here. You're not moving the whole of the leg from side to side. That's cheating. We want the movement to come from the ankle. And then a circle in one direction. And circles in the other direction. Tip top. Okay, relax there. Feet together, knees together, sitting up nice and tall. A little bit for our hips. A leg. I'm going to start off with this one. We're going to come up, out, down, and slide in. Same leg. Up, out, down, in. So you know the movement, trying to make a circle with that kneecap, which you sweep up, out, down and back in. Up, out, down and in. One more for me. Tip top. All right, the other leg, same again. Up, out, down and in. Up, out, down and in. So now you've got that movement, making it smoother and more circular. Really loosening up that hip joint. Okay, one more for me. Lovely, and relax there. Other leg, we're going to go in the other direction. So we're going to slide, lift, in, down. Slide, lift, in, down. Now you've got it. So just making it smooth and circular. One more on this side. Slide, lift, in and down. Other leg. Same again. Slide, lift, in, down. Slide, lift, in, down. Now you've got that movement. Beautiful. That's it. Not too jerky, just nice and smooth. One more. You may relax there. Give those hips just a little bit of a moment. We're going to work a little bit on the hips later on. Right, okay. You know, I was going to do some sprinting, some punching, but let's leave that for today. As I said, I don't want every single session to be maximum intensity every time. Spent a bit of time having a good loosen there, you know, with our hips and our lower back. So, grab your resistance band. So we are going to do 4 exercises on one leg. We'll have a little interlude, and then the same 4 exercises on the other leg. And then we'll see how we get on for time. Might have a little treat. So, all leg exercises, all sat down. Let's start off with our calf. So we're going to take the ends of our band, create a loop. We drop that band around our foot. So it's been a while since we've done these sequence of exercises. So I'm going to spend just a little bit of time explaining them, even though you have done them before, but it has been a while. You're going to try and position the band around the ball of your foot. We certainly don't want the band around your heel, but we don't want it around the toes, otherwise the band will slip off. So the band's around your ball of your foot. What I'm going to suggest is you start with your hands down the band. So it's going to be up to you exactly where you place your hands, but I don't want to start off with holding the very ends of your band. So you've got some You've got some tension on your band. When you pull on your band, your foot will come off the ground. So this one, calf press, is the one where we point our toes and then we allow the band to stretch our foot, to stretch our calf muscle as we pull back on the toes. So it's this movement where we're flexing from the ankle, but it has a double benefit. So when you push away, you're using your calf muscle. When you come back, you are stretching that calf and the Achilles. So if you have had any ankle problems or lower leg problems in recent weeks, please just take your time. Mum, you know what I'm talking about. Just take your time and just see how you feel whilst you're doing this particular exercise. If it feels good, if it feels nice to have a really good stretch using the band, when you point your toes up, then do you know what? Enjoy that stretch. Listen to what your body's telling you. If your body's saying, do you know what, that feels nice, then enjoy it. Enjoy that additional stretch. But we're trying to get as much range of movement through that ankle as possible. If you want to make it a little bit harder, by all means, move your hands further down your band, put some more tension on the band. Clearly, you're making that calf muscle work harder, and you're getting a deeper stretch. I'm going to leave it up to you exactly where you want to position your hands. Okay, just one more for me. And then just relax there. You can lower your foot down if you want to, because I know that there is a little bit of an effort through the top of the thigh. Okay, so we're going to do the leg press next. The leg press predominantly works your big thigh muscle and your bum, but it also works the range of movement through the hip joint. If you've had problems with your hips in the past, again, this might be a good exercise for you. Please take it nice and steady. See how you feel, modify it. Perhaps don't do as great a range of movement if you've got any pain through the hip joint. So your hands are probably going to stay more or less where they were for the calf press. The band stays around your foot. You're still pulling on your band and your foot's come off the ground. So this is the one where we bend our knee, we try and get that knee up towards our chest. The band helps, and then we push against the band. So we're looking for a nice high knee, that's where the hip flexibility comes into it. When we push down, that's where your muscles are working. And we're looking for this piston movement. We're looking for a nice straight knee going up and down. Our knee is not coming round the side. We want a straight line with that knee as it comes up, and then you push down. So let the band help. The band helps to lift up that knee as you push down. Again, if you want to make it harder, move your hands a little bit further down your band. Plenty of tension on that band. Make those muscles work harder. But, as I mentioned, you're also trying to have a big range of movement through the hip joint. Fabulous. One more for me on this side. Lovely. And then you can just relax there and lower your foot back down. So keeping that band where it is around your foot. We're now going to transfer the exercise so that we're working the outer part of our hip and the outer part of our bum. So, as I mentioned, it's been a while since we've done this next exercise as well. So if you've forgotten how to set it up, please just spend a bit of time watching what I'm doing, because I'm obviously not there to correct you and make sure your band's in the right place. Right, so we're going to put both feet flat on the floor. With me so far. You're going to take both parts of your band into your opposite hands. The band is in front of the shin of your free leg. You're with me so far? Good. This free leg, that's not doing anything now, comes from behind, over the top, and stands on both parts of your band. I'm just going to give you a few seconds to sort that out, because I know that can be a bit tricky. I will go through that just one more time. If you're in this position from the previous exercise, both feet on the floor, both parts of your band in your opposite hand from the leg that's got the band around it. Your free leg comes from behind, over the top, and stands on both parts of your band. Right, I'm assuming you've all got that, because I can see someone having a cup of tea. Right, so you should look a little bit like me, but not as good looking. Sit up nice and tall. So the leg, the foot that's got the band wrapped around it is the one that's going to do the effort. You're going to step out to the side and then nice and controlled step back. Notice the word step. We're not sliding or dragging. I want you to step. The knee also goes out to the side and then you step back to the center. So you should feel that effort through the outer part of your hip. You might feel it through the outer part of your thigh. You might feel it through the outer part of your bum. There's quite a lot going on, even though this movement looks relatively simple, because I'm asking you to think about your posture as well. There's quite a lot going on internally, so you are using some core muscles as well, deep inside, to help you get this movement, this nice and controlled step and back in. You're not stepping out miles, it's probably just a few inches, and then back in. Right. Obviously, because I can't see your legs, I'm assuming you're all fairly content with what we're doing here. There's no great issues. If you are having snags, unmute yourself and shout out. Say, Alison, I'm not quite getting this. Can you go through it again? No silence. Silence is golden. Right, so just relax there, but keep your band, keep your feet where they are. All right? Hopefully you're just starting to feel that effort through that outer part here. So let's make it a little bit harder. Just check your posture. You notice then I'd slouch down, so I was just checking my posture and sit up nice and tall. So same again, this time we're going to step out. Your knee has also gone out. We're going to lift just a couple of inches. Keep that position. Keep pushing against the band, don't let those knees come together. Lower back down to the ground. Lift. Hold that position, keep pushing against your band. Lower. And again, lift. Foot comes off the ground a couple of inches. Lower. And then nice and controlled back into the centre. It's a bit cheeky, isn't it? As I say, a little while since we've done that one. We're going to do it one more time. So step out. Make sure your knee is also out there. We're going to lift and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower. Lift, hopefully you don't lose the picture whilst I've asked you to lift that leg. And lower, one more time, lift and lower, and bring it back in. Fabulous. All right, so just relax just for a moment, keep the band where it is. So last exercise now, on this leg that you're doing now, so keep the band where it is. All right, but what I want you to do, excuse me, what I want you to do is extend both feet out. So your heels are down, and your toes are raised. You with me so far? Okay, so this final exercise on this leg is for the outer part of your lower leg and through the ankle. So the foot, and in my case, this one, the foot that's got the band wrapped around it, you can see it's at the top here. This foot is going to do the work. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the foot and the knee out. So depending on which leg you're rotating, you're either going to be rotating to the 2 o'clock position or the 10 o'clock position. Your heel is the pivot point, and you're rotating out to sort of a 45-degree angle and then back in. So it's a subtle movement, it's a subtle exercise, but the outer part of your shin, this area here, is obviously quite a tricky area to strengthen. But I've also asked you to turn your knee out as well. If you were just to do your foot, keep your knee where it is, then you're going to put an additional strain through the knee joint, and I don't really want to do that. So just that rotation out, and then back in. We're not going to spend ages doing this. So I'm just going to do one more for me, please. And relax there. Okay. What I want you to do is extricate yourself from your resistance band. 4 exercises on that leg. We're going to do the other side in a moment. I'm just going to give you just a bit of a breather. What I'm going to do, just a quick back strengthening exercise. I want you to take your band, fold it in half, lay it down, palms down, pick up your band, and you want your hands about, what we have there, 10-12 inches apart. With me so far. Arms out to the front, nice straight backs. And we're going to pull that band apart and then relax. So because I've asked you to place your hands fairly close together and your band is folded in half, you're unlikely to be able to move this band very far. So I've asked you to put a lot of tension on the band. So it's a small movement, but I'm pretty sure you can probably feel the outer part of your upper arm, through the back of the shoulder, through the top of the back as well. As you pull apart, you're going to hold it half a second and relax. Think of your postures, still sitting up nice and tall. Pull it apart, hold it for that half a second and relax. Just one more for me. And relax. Band down. Just give your arms a little bit of shape if you need to. Give the shoulders a bit of a shape. This time, palms uppermost. Scoop up your band. And again, your hands are about 10-12 inches apart. Everyone with me so far? Super. So we're going to do the one where we pull the band close into our tummy. So just make sure you've got some room behind you. You're not likely to bang your arm against the arm of the chair or on the back of the chair. You want enough room to be able to move those arms forwards and backwards. Posture, nice and tall, arms out to the front. You're going to pull apart, keep the tension on your band, and now bring that band in towards your tummy. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, don't hold your breath, and release. Arms out. Pull apart and in. So if I can remember to count, we're going to do 10 of these. That's 2. Arms out, apart and in. 3. Relax. Arms out, pull apart and in. Squeeze those shoulder blades. 4. Release. Arms out, apart, in. There's 5. Release. Arms out, apart and in. Squeeze. 6, release, arms out, apart and in. 7, out, pull, in, squeeze. 8, arms out, pull apart and in. 9, last one, make this one your best one today. Pull apart, pull in, squeeze, don't hold your breath. And release. 10, relax. I thought I was going to squeeze another little one in there. 9.5 and then 10, not 10. Okay, unfold your band. So we're going to do that sequence of leg exercises now on your other leg. Let's start off with the calf. So we're going to take the band long, hold the ends of your band so you've got a little loop. Place your other foot now onto your band. And as before, you're looking to place the band around the ball of your foot. So you've got something to push against, but you don't want it around the toes, otherwise the band's just going to flip off the end of your toes. You certainly don't want it around your heel. So as before, move your hands down your band, just so you've got some tension on there. You're going to pull on your band, foot comes off the ground. This is the one where we press down against the band. Then we use the band to stretch out the calf and Achilles. So we've got the movement from the ankle joint as we flex the foot forwards and backwards. If you need to adjust your hands, to put some more tension on your band, please do. And if it feels nice, as I mentioned earlier, if it feels nice to hold that stretch for a little bit longer, then again, do what feels right. Your body will tell you if it's not right. Your body will say, nope, stop that right now. Your body will tell you if it feels the right thing to do. Just nice and steady. As I say, it's concentrating on the calf muscle and through the and giving the Achilles a good stretch as well. So maintaining that range of movement through the ankle joint. Okay, one more for me, please. And relax there. Lower your foot down to the ground, just to give yourself a little bit of a breather. So the second exercise was the leg press. It's the one where we're going to try and lift our knee up as high as possible, but the band helps. Okay, so we're going to pull on our band, foot comes off the ground. Bend the knee, lifting that knee up as high as you can, and then pushing against your band. Really extend that leg out as far as you can. So when we push against the band, we're using the thigh and the glute muscles in the bum. When we lift up, we're improving our flexibility and mobility through the hip joint. We are trying to maintain that straight line movement with the knee like a piston, trying to avoid any twisting. We don't want this or coming out to the side. Straight lines, if you can imagine. I know it's tricky to try and do straight lines sometimes, especially if you've had snags with your hips in the past. If you need to adjust your hands on the band to either make this easier or harder, then please do. Fabulous. Just one more for me. You've all done about 97 of those. Once you've done that final one, just drop your foot to the ground, release that bit of tension on your band, give your hands a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a shake if you want to. Right, rattling through these. So the next one, if you remember, was for the hip and the outer part of the thigh, outer part of the bum. I again make no apologies, but I will just spend a bit of time just setting it up correctly. So hopefully you've still got the band around that foot. Hold the band long and then put both feet flat on the floor. Take both parts of the band in your other hand, in your opposite hand, the hand furthest away from the leg that's got the band wrapped around it. It's in front of your shin. Now this free leg comes from behind, right over the top, and stands on both parts of your band. Your feet are a couple of inches apart, if that makes sense. So we're not like this. We're certainly not right next to each other. So you just want a couple of inches space between your feet. Just very quickly, let me go through that again. So you might be in this position with the band around your foot, and your band long, so you've got both feet flat on the floor. Taking both parts of the band in one hand, and then your free leg comes from behind, steps over the top, and onto both parts of your band. That's the important bit. Don't stand just on one part. You want to stand on both parts of your band. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall for this one, because it's good for our posture, it's good for our core muscles. And this is the one now with the foot that's got the band wrapped around it. Going to step out just those couple of inches. Your knee also goes out to the side, and then you bring it back in. So nice and controlled, using the outer part of your hip, the outer part of your thigh and bum to make that movement, stepping out to the side, nice control back in. Don't let the band control you. You are in control of the band. So it's not a big movement, as I mentioned. It's a couple of inches stepping out. It's enough. Nice control coming back in. Marvellous. And probably doesn't take long before you start to feel that tension and that effort build through the outer part of that leg. You start to think, yes, we haven't done this one for a while. Lovely. Just one more for me, because obviously I am going to make it harder. That's what I do. All right, so just take a moment. Just let some of that tension just dissipate just for a few moments before I bring it back. All right, so let's make this a little bit harder. We're still sitting up nice and tall. Excuse me. This leg now is going to step out. We're going to raise just a couple of inches. Make sure your knee is also out there. Your knee hasn't come back into the center. We're going to lower. We're going to raise. We're going to lower. We're going to raise. Keep pushing against that band. We're going to lower and then bring it nice control back into the center. You love it. You love it. Right, let's do that again. So stepping out. So you've created tension on your resistance band. We're going to lift. We're going to maintain that tension on the band. We're going to lower. We're going to lift. We're going to lower. We're going to lift. Posture. We're going to lower. We're going to lift. We're going to lower and we're going to lift. We're going to lower. And then we're going to gently bring that foot back into the center. Good time, eh? Okay, so our final exercise on this leg is the one for the ankle and the outer part of your shin. So keep the band where it is, keep your hands where they are. This time now you're going to extend both feet out in front of you. So heels are down, toes are up. So the foot that has got the band wrapped around it, that's going to be doing the work. So as I said, you're going to try and rotate the toes out. The knee will also go out. And you're rotating, you're pivoting, and bringing your toes, depending on which side you're on, to either the 10 o'clock position or the 2 o'clock position. So if you're doing your left leg, you go to the 10 o'clock position. If you're doing your right leg, you go to the 2 o'clock position. And I know that's made some of you scratch your heads thinking left, right, 10 o'clock and 2, what is she going on about? I'll just let you think about that. So strengthening through the outer part of the ankle, outer part of your lower leg, this subtle movement, the tension through the resistance band, trying to just protect our knees, just by making sure the knee goes out there as well. Fabulous. Just one more for me. Lovely job. And relax there. Just bring your feet back in. And just very carefully removing the band from around your foot. And then you put your band to one side. Give your hands just a little bit of shape. You've been gripping those bands, and sometimes I know that tension can build through the forearms and 3 fingers. Just give your fingers just a little bit of shape, your hands just a little bit of shape. Right, how are we doing? All right. Listen, right, so normally at this point we'll be doing some stretches and this and all this sort of stuff. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a little bit of the seated Tai Chi, which I've not done via Zoom before. So I'm going to apologise. And it's been, I think it's been, well, probably since the last live face-to-face classes when we did any sort of the little bit of Tai Chi. So apologies if you're already a Tai Chi master. I'm not a Tai Chi master. I'm just going to do a few little movements that we're going to do instead of our usual cool down. Just something a bit different, that's all. And as I said, it's been a while since we've done this, so hopefully it will come back to you, the movement. So I just want you to relax now. You've done all the hard work. The Tai Chi, don't worry about it, all right? I want you to just move the fleshy bit of your bum just out of the way so you sat on your sit bones and your feet nice and flat on the ground. And just give your hands and then just let your arms just sort of like relax into your lap. Okay, so the first one I'm just going to add a few little variations as we go along. First one we're going to do, I just want you to imagine that you are going to be holding something really soft and delicate like clouds or pillows or fluff or snow, something really, really soft and delicate. So I don't want any tension in your hands, I don't want any tension in your wrists or in your forearms. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up our clouds, we're going to pick both, use both hands, pick our clouds up, bring them in front of our face, and then we're going to push them away. Then we're going to just drop our hands back down. So you'll see me, I'm going to rotate different positions so you can see it from different angles. So nice soft hands, as we pick up our clouds, sitting up nice and tall, pushing them away, and then dropping them back down. And again, nice and light, nice and relaxed now, push away, and back down. Soft hands, pushing them away, and back down. One more for me. Lift it up, push it away, and then drop them back down. And then just relax there. We'll come back to that movement in a moment. We're going to do the ones where we go out to the side now. So again, just give your hands just a little bit of shape. Just get rid of any tension in your hands and wrists. So I'm going to go that way, first of all. So one hand, again, we're going to pick up our cloud to the front. We're going to push that hand out to the side. Now keep looking at your hand as it goes out to the side, and then come back to the centre. Then the other side. So look at your hand, follow your hand as you bring it up to the front. Push that cloud out to the side. Keep looking, and then drop it back down. And again, the other hand now, lift it up, follow your hand. Push away, and then drop down. The other side, follow your hand as you pick up, push out to the side, and back down. Okay, so this time we'll add the head movement. So I will ask you to look forwards. So your hands will be going in one direction, but your head and eyes are going to be going in another direction. So it's a little bit easier when you're doing this sat down. Bit trickier when you stood up because your balance can sometimes play tricks on you. Your head going in one direction, your body going in another. It's a little bit easier when we sat down. Right, so follow your hand. So we're picking up our cloud to the front. Keep looking at your hand as you go out to the side. Now bring your head nice to the front. Now drop your hand back down. And the other side. So follow your hand. Follow your hand as you go out to the side, head and eyes to the front, drop that down. One more on each side. Follow your hand up to the front, nice and soft out to the side, head and eyes to the front, and drop. On the other side, follow your hand, nice and relaxed as you look out to the side, head and eyes to the front, and drop back down. If we were doing this stood up, we could have a sway side to side. It doesn't quite work the same way when you sat down. We are going to go back to the first one, which is the double hand movement, and I am going to add sway to this because we can move forwards and backwards. And it actually serves as a little bit of core work as well. So if you remember the movement, we were doing this when we were bringing our hands up to the front and we were pushing away. This was our movement. So let me just turn side up. So what we're going to do this time, get soft hands, just give your hands a shake. So this time, when we bring our hands up to the front, we're going to lean back. When we push our clouds away, we're going to lean forwards, and then we're going to come back to the centre. So bring our clouds up to the front, we're leaning back, pushing away, leaning forwards, and then back to the centre. But hopefully you're getting that through the camera. So we're leaning back as we lift up, we're pushing forwards, and we're coming back to the centre. And again, leaning back as we lift up, pushing away, leaning forwards, and back to the centre. We're going to do 2 more of those. So leaning back, pushing forwards, and back to the centre. Last one. Leaning back, push it forwards, and back to the centre. And relax there. Okay. You probably are feeling quite relaxed now. I will be, sorry, I shouldn't say, I am running out of, just look at my watch. We probably will finish a minute or two earlier because I didn't really want to add anything else, any other strength exercises in. What I am going to do, just to finish off, for the neck stretches, I'm going to do the assisted neck stretches. If you are worried about your neck or you're not happy doing these particular stretches and you want to do the usual ones where you're moving your head under its own steam from side to side, those ones please do. If you want to try the assisted ones, which are a little bit more intense, then give it a go. But as I mentioned, just listen to your body. If something's not right, it's painful, clearly don't do it because they are a little bit more intense, these next few stretches. Okay? So I want you to take a hand and I want you to sit on a hand. So that hand is wedged, it's not going anywhere. Your other hand is going to come right over the top of your head. If you can touch the ear on the opposite side, we're going to sit up tall. Now this hand that's touching your ear is going to gently ease your head over to the side. So we're just applying a little bit of pressure. Obviously we're not trying to dislocate our necks or anything like that. We're just applying some pressure until you feel that stretch through the neck and through the top of the shoulder. So because we're sat on that arm, it keeps the shoulder down, and therefore you get a deep stretch through that side. I just want you to release, and then go again, same side. Just pulling across, just gently applying some pressure to the side of the head until you feel that deep stretch through that side of your neck and through the top of the shoulder. And then relax there. We're going to do the other side. So come off your hand. Your other hand now, you're going to sit on your other hand. The spare hand now is going to go right over the top. Just resting your fingertips against the top of the ear, or even just on the sort of like the bulbous bit of your skull there. If you can just touch your ear, that's great. Sitting up nice and tall, and then again, just easing that head across. Just applying some pressure. The shoulder stays down, because you sat on that hand. And therefore, you get that deeper stretch through the top of the shoulder and side of the neck. Just release. And then again, just gently pull it across. And releasing out of that. Extricate yourself. Okay. So the next one is for the back of the neck and the base of the skull. So you can take your hand, it's going to reach in front of your face. You're going to go right over the top of your head, and you're going to try and feel for the sticky out bit of your skull, if that makes sense. The back of your skull. So you might find your bicep is in your face. And then you're going to bring your head forwards, again just applying some pressure until you start to feel that stretch through the back of the neck. Now you're not leaning forward, you're not bringing your torso forward, you're trying to just bring the head to get the stretch through the base of the skull and through the top of the neck. Just release and then go again. See if you can get a slightly deeper stretch. And then release out of that. And bring your arm back down. So the last one we're going to do is where we move our head. Normally we just do it under, the head under its own steam. But we're going to use our hand again just to increase that stretch. Just going to sit up tall. So you're going to put your hand on the side of your face, on your cheek. And as you turn your head, now you can apply a little bit of pressure to the side of your face, just to increase that stretch a little bit more than you normally would be able to if we were doing this under our normal stretching finish. So So just release, and then again, turn the head, apply a little bit of pressure, see if you can get that rotation just a little bit further. Remember, you're just moving your head, you're not moving your shoulders or your body. And then come back through to the centre. And we're going to do the other side. So hand on the cheek, on the side of your face, turn your head, apply some pressure, trying to get a little bit more out of that rotation. Back to the centre, just to release. And again, one more time, just pushing that head round. Can you go a little bit further, even if it's just a millimetre? And then gently coming back through to the centre. How are we doing? All right? Good. I'd like you please just to give your hands a final shake. And give your legs a little bit of a pat down. And finally, give yourself a round of applause.